Hey guys, Frank here, and I'm here to tell you about the Garmin Fenix 6 Pro. The Garmin Fenix 6 is a multi-sport watch designed for those that want the best of Garmin on their wrist and confidence that it will outlast them on pretty much all adventures. As there are many variants of the Garmin line, which include sapphire screens, solar charging, case sizes, and so on, you can get exactly what you want. And I tested the Fenix 6 Pro with music and Wi-Fi in a 47mm case size. I think that's a good standard option for most athletes out there. So let's get into the benefits of this watch over others out there. You get built-in navigation. You've known Garmin for their GPS navigation systems for decades now, and this is one of their first times you can have the full offline map navigation on your wrist. I can see some people getting the watch just for Garmin Pay because it means you can do a long bike ride or run without having to carry around cash or card to buy nutrition on your adventure. The music edition of the watch is also a new feature to the Garmin Fenix line. You can ditch your phone and use Spotify or other services to sync music before the workout, or even load up the watch with songs as we did before we had phones, back when we had MP3 players and those were all the rage. The next big benefit to this watch is the great sensor set you get. Heart rate, pulse ox, compass, air pressure, etc. This is the real reason why you buy a Garmin and not an Apple or Samsung competitor. Garmin is one of the industry leaders in athletic sensor data. Pulse ox is a new feature to the Garmin watches, and this estimates oxygen saturation content of your blood. This is really only useful to detect long-term trends, so if you're a hiker acclimating to new elevation or you're in a long multi-hour workout. It's not as fast or as accurate as real oxygen saturation meters though, so don't use this to replace any medical devices or expect to have accurate readout in 15-minute chunks during your workout. The rest of the sensors on this watch are proven Garmin tech like the GPS positioning, wrist-based heart rate that is almost as good as a chest strap, and including running metrics like cadence. Lastly, this watch lasts. You can go days between charges with multiple workouts on the watch, or even put the watch into an ultra-low power setting for those of you crazy enough to do a multi-day workout. Now, this watch isn't perfect, it comes with a few drawbacks. One minor gripe I have is that you can no longer do straight line navigation. It was just a feature in older Garmin's out there. You could just go straight line home. It's replaced by navigate using maps or retrace route, but neither one of those is as fun to do as just a straight line. Also, the price is high. That's not the drawback though. Price is high means you should get a lot of features in this watch. You do get hardware, you get software, but the software isn't 99.999% reliable. Mine froze a couple times over the past 6 months of use. Now, that's a couple times over 6 months, but that's still higher than I'd like. I suspect Garmin is cramming in as much software as possible into these watches to compete with the smartwatch market, and that's causing minor issues. I still trust this watch in a triathlon PR attempt, but I wouldn't use it if I was a race director or recording athletes in the event. Last notable problem with this watch is the size and weight. I think some of you would sacrifice durability or a few features to shave off a few grams, but for some of you, you know the size and weight doesn't make it much of a deal. Well, if you're a runner going after PRs, I don't know, Fenix versus a Forerunner, you might want to go into those. In conclusion, I don't know how much longer the Fenix line of watches will stay on top, but they are on top of the Garmin product line. The Fenix 6 is still a beautiful watch for multi-sport athletes, but the much cheaper Vivo Active and slightly cheaper Forerunner lines make the Fenix choice a little trickier. Garmin is adding more features to their cheaper line of watches that compete with folks like Samsung, Apple, and Fitbit. Garmin is utilizing very similar hardware too in these cheaper models, to the point where I think they're intentionally locking out software options on the cheaper watches to get you to buy the more expensive ones, like this Fenix. This leaves just a narrow group of folks who should really go for this watch. But this also means those folks that do get this watch will have an incredible watch, ready for every need without making too many sacrifices.